incorrect about their real ancient lineage. So some of the random facts that people are finally accepting is that birds evolved from dinosaurs. It's an understanding now. When I was your guys' age, it's like that was controversy. No one would have believed it, but they're finding fossils that are proving it. So some of the other little things is that these teeth here are not teeth like ours, which are separate enamel teeth. This is actually just part of the bone. So it's basically just a growth out of the bone. So it's on that. It's one of those cusp sort of things that it's not a tooth and it's not a beak. So it's quite weird. And what they do, they don't have a jaw like ours, which has a bit of sideways movement. Literally, it's just an up and down and a pull. So they'll hold on for dear life and just start slowly serrating something off. One of our guys that volunteers here, and is our ecologist back in the day, is Chris Kennedy. He's one of the most famous ecologists within the country, and the people back know him. One bit him, and because he's of a scientific mind, he's like, oh, let's time it. It took half an hour. It just held on, nearly went to the bone, and just slowly bleeding, and he just did not let go. He just waited and waited. It took half an hour until it finally let go, just because it's in their nature just to bite and clamp down. The joke that came with it, if you want to see a grown man cry, you put your finger in a tuatara, or in the front bit. Down here, tuatara eating a weta. So this is just explaining that opportunistic feeding. Basically anything in front of it moving, it'll have a crack at. So snails, worms, weta, birds, chicks, flies, just anything that really gets close enough. Because anything about snakes, how they eat sporadically. If they have a really big meal, they won't have to eat for a few weeks. Tuatara are exactly the same. So that one I got to see eating that fantail, probably wouldn't have had to eat for another few weeks after that. Slow metabolism, and just real slow digestion. Down the bottom, this is a tail. Does anyone know why we're showing a tail? No? Just a little bit, actually not far off. And some of the lumps. So that little guy there and that little guy there are tuatara ticks. These are ticks that are only found on tuatara. So way back in the day, like the teacher and myself, back in the day, a genetic test was a couple $100,000 and it would take months and months. Where now literally you guys could go down the road, put a blood sample in a machine, go have a cup of tea, come back and you got a result. So it's way cheaper, it's a lot easier. So what we do now, because we've already got the genetics of tuatara, we're actually getting the genetics of the tick. And then we'll find out where did the tuatara meet the tick. So you can find out that tick's got a relation in Africa or South America. So sometime way back when Gondwana was whole, this reptile encountered another species and the tick jumped species. So you find out that somewhere along its lineage, it's obviously been in this area, which could be halfway around the planet. Even with humans, you fellas had nits. Yeah, pretty much at some stage you might have. Nits have only been, or hair lice, or lice on people, have only been involved with people for about 100,000 years. So somewhere 100,000 years ago, we gave something a cuddle, and basically the nits jumped ship. Because a lot of nits and ticks